California's liberal politicians have reached a new level of insanity where a liberal prosecutor has threatened a local business, stop calling the police on criminals or we'll prosecute you. Plus, crime statistics. Can we trust them? Not according to a recent investigation. Politicians are, of course, lying to us about the crime stats. All that and more coming up. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California. And do you feel safe in California? Do you feel like crime is on the increase? If you are looking at anything tethered to reality, whether it's the news coverage or just going on your social media feeds and platforms like Nextdoor, you know well that crime is up, way up in California. But the politicians continue to deny. They say everything is perfectly fine. You're completely safe. All the folks talking about the risk of crime and property crime or violent crime, they're lying. They just hate crime. They just hate California. Well, we're going to be covering an investigation done, surprisingly, by the San Francisco Chronicle. I've got to give the Chronicle, which is a liberal rag, at least some credit for kicking the tires and looking at crime statistics in the Bay Area and realizing, wow, the politicians are lying to us. That in a moment. But I first want to come to you with this insane story out of Northern California, where a local prosecutor, a city attorney, has contacted Target, a local retail store in their area, and basically threatened them. Here is the story. And again, you can't make this crap up. It is insane when you see these stories. Headline, Sacramento city attorney reportedly threatened to fine Target for reporting theft crimes. Now, I have covered the crime wave on this show in a number of ways on numerous occasions. And I have said that the crime stats, which we're going to get to in just a moment, are misleadingly lower than actual crime because a lot of stores, particularly large stores, no longer report property theft. They know that it's a waste of time for their employees because the prosecutors aren't going to prosecute the criminals. So they just simply grin and bear it and pass the costs on, by the way, to you and me in terms of when people steal stuff. The store doesn't just absorb that. You and I pay for that crime that politicians don't seem to care about here in California. We pay for that crime in the form of higher prices at the store. And so a lot of these retail chains are not even bothering to report these crimes. So that's why the first thing I saw about this, besides the insanity of the allegation, is that Target was even bothering to report the crime because we've heard numerous stores have a policy not to report crimes, and that artificially reduces the crime stats for property crimes. Anyway, so here's the story. City of Sacramento city attorney drafted a letter threatening Target to prosecute them for, quote, public nuisance because Target kept calling the police each time a criminal shoplifted, stole merchandise from their store. The store in question is in a place called Land Park. Now, think about this. Public nuisance. You calling the cops to report a real crime, where in other jurisdictions, they actually get the police officers to show up, but not in California, not with these liberal politicians coddle the criminal. No, not at all. They ignore it. They're not going to deal with it. And so you and I lose money. Stores have major losses. Criminals get whatever they want. And if you complain about it, you're in trouble. You're going to face the sanction of law enforcement because shut up and just grin and bear it. Stop your yapping. Don't be complaining about it. You're a nuisance. I don't know, but if I was running a store and every 5 minutes someone was walking out without paying for merchandise, I consider that a pretty significant nuisance. How dare this asshat of a politician draft a letter and make this threat? This idiot needs to be removed from office immediately. because this is exactly what's wrong with our state. This is where good people are victimized. Crime victims are actually victimized by our state liberal politicians. And the criminals are coddled and left off the hook. It is insane. This story should light a fire under every person's ass in this state to vote these idiots out of office. I mean, this is the epitome of how bad things are. That if you are a law-abiding store doing the right thing, calling the police and saying, hey, we are victims of crimes, you get threatened? Absolutely insane. The other thing we need to do in November is vote for the measure to make crime illegal again in California, the reform package to try to undo the damage of Prop 47. I'll get to that in just a minute. But this story is just insane. So again, part of what I'm surprised by in this story is the fact that Target was even reporting the crimes. We know a lot of large retail chains, including Target, by the way. I think this is just a rogue manager actually deciding to call the police, because Target, I know, has a policy to not spend a whole lot of time, waste a lot of time on reporting these crimes, like all the other big retailers. So this is a surprise. That reduces our crime stats. Now, Gavin Newsom, a few months ago, took to Twitter to praise Oakland for doing such a great job. Attaboy, Oakland. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if I can say attaboy given the whole confusion on gender definitions. But you've got Newsom praising Oakland just a few months ago, saying that crime is down. He actually sent out a press release. In fact, here it is. Here's a press release. Crime is down in Oakland. State partnership recovers 880 stolen vehicles. Yay, go us. So Gavin Newsom did such a great job. Not at all. Nope. You see, they were lying to you. Surprised? Lying to you. What they did was they took and compared a full year of crime data for previous years to partial data for this year. The problem there is that it's not, in my opinion, an honest mistake. These people are liars, cheats, and thieves. They're fundamentally dishonest. They don't want to protect you. They want to lie to you because they know that if you knew the truth, that you would actually be furious with them. And so the San Francisco Chronicle, and I will give them credit, they're a liberal rag. I want them to go out of business. I will actually give them credit in this one case for actually doing their job. San Francisco Chronicle Review shows misleading crime data in Oakland, that the crime was actually not down, it was actually up. And that's actually what we're seeing statewide. Now, this is in contrast to national crime data. So this is from the Public Policy Institute of California. We've shared you these numbers before. Take a look at the lines here. The dotted line in orange, let me zoom in here a bit. Dotted line in orange is property crime in the U.S. The solid orange line is property crime in California. If you take a look, starting in 2010, California was surprisingly below the national average. And yet we've now outpaced nationally the crime rate. And, we really are not down from 2010, whereas nationally things are down considerably since 2010. We've kind of plateaued because that line continues to go up. It's important that you take a look at the implementation of Prop 47 in 2014, which was the catch and release, let the criminals do whatever they want, a major spike in crime that there's no doubt about it can be completely attributed to the fact that we took tools away from police and prosecutors to actually go after property crimes in the state of California. Take a look at the alarming violent crime numbers. Violent crime in California in 2010 was higher than the national average. And now it is significantly higher. The violent crime rate nationally, the dotted green line, is actually down a bit and is on a downward path right now. Whereas in California, it is up since 2010 and is on a massive spike. Violent crime massively spiking in California. Now, these are based upon reported data sets. As I have said, particularly for that top number, the property crimes, the orange lines. In California, those numbers are not what they appear to be. The numbers are much higher than that because people don't report crimes, property crimes in California. They know that nothing's going to be done with it. Many people don't. So these numbers are actually deflated. They are not showing the true magnitude of the problem. But even if you have people not reporting crimes, and we know that that's what's going on in terms of these large retail chains and their policies, notwithstanding what Target did in Sacramento area, you can't trust California politicians when it comes to crime stats. We need to trust no one. We need to go and audit their rear ends at every single turn. And the reality is, you know what's going on. Your lying eyes are not lying to you. They're not deceiving you. They're actually giving you the real picture of what's going on. The smash and grab stories you see on TV, what you're witnessing on your social media platforms, what some of you sadly are witnessing in your own personal lives, whether it's at your home or your business or in your automobile, you're getting hit with these criminals and you're suffering the consequences. We need to demand immediate action to restore public safety, law and order. And that means we have to repeal, starting with Prop 47, repealing Prop 47. And there is a whole effort underway to do that. If you go to reformcalifornia.org, click under our campaign for Restore Public Safety. And that tells you all you need to know about the two ballot initiatives that really have destroyed our ability in California to fight crime. Prop 47, which again, as I mentioned earlier, takes tools away from police and prosecutors to actually arrest and punish criminals. It lowered the threshold for it greatly increased the threshold for prosecuting property crimes. Now people can steal up to $950 a day per store, per person, and not have any felony charges lodged against them. Serial thieves also do not face sanction. It decriminalized a bunch of drug crimes. Again, I'm not saying that every drug crime needs to be treated as some sort of thrown behind bars infraction, but having the option, the ability to enforce on drug crimes, particularly as it relates to the homeless population, is crucial. But Prop 47 took all that away. So there is an initiative on this November's ballot, Prop 36, and Reform California is a strong yes recommendation on that ballot measure. It would basically make crime illegal again in California by completely tossing aside Prop 47 and restoring the power of police and prosecutors to arrest and punish criminals. It's vital that we pass that. We also have to throw some of these liberal politicians out of office in the state assembly, the state senate, local government, sheriffs, district attorneys. So there's a good candidate for district attorney running against a Soros district attorney in Los Angeles. We have to basically elect Nathan Hochman in Los Angeles and throw out the criminal coddling George Gascon. So there's a lot of candidate races where you can send a message that crime is out of control and that we've had enough and we want our safety restored. So check out that website, reformcalifornia.org, click under Restore Public Safety. There's also Prop 57, and we need to get focused on that for the next election, 2026. Prop 57 is early release from prison. Violent criminals are being released for good behavior, which is nonsense. And they're going out and reoffending again. There's no real rehabilitation going on in our prisons, and we're letting dangerous people out on the streets to reoffend. And Prop 57 needs to be gutted and reformed, just like we're trying to reform Prop 47. So that's our next priority for the next election cycle. But all of this is fixable. But you can't fix problems if the politicians aren't giving us the data that's accurate. And this story about Oakland misleading people on their crime stats should be a wake-up call to all media outlets across the state to kick the tires in every single county. Do an audit of the crime stats in every single jurisdiction. But they won't. I mean, again, I got to say, I'm pleasantly surprised by the San Francisco Chronicle doing at least a modest amount of accountability and transparency work in their jurisdiction. So, look, I can't fight this battle alone, but we can work together and make change happen in our state. Go on to reformcalifornia.org. Share this campaign, Restore Public Safety website with people on your social media platforms. By the way, sign up to get our voter guide. We have our plain English voter guide for the November election. If you sign up, we will email you in early October when your ballot arrives, a plain English description of all the ballot measures on your ballot, plus all of our endorsements for those candidate races I talked about, from sheriff to city attorney to district attorney, all the way up to the legislature. So sign up at reformcalifornia.org. Plus, chip in a contribution, put gas in the tank, help us fight the battles of educating voters and motivating voters to vote for change in our state. We have an opportunity to restore sanity in California, but we can't do it without your help. So go to reformcalifornia.org, join the fight, sign up, and contribute. Until next time, Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California. Help us break through the censorship of the liberal media. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and smash that notification button so you can stay up to date on all the developments in California news and politics. Also, please visit the website, reformcalifornia.org, for ongoing news coverage and to join one of our campaigns in the fight to take back our state. If you can, please sign up as a volunteer or chip in a contribution. This episode of Reform California with Carl DeMaio, paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly 2024.